EVs are in shock. Are EVs a scam? As the world is choking because of the environmental pollution and global warming, EVs were thought to be the only solution left for the people around the world. But is it really? Buckle up as we're going to delve into the world of EVs and their potential drawbacks. EVs have been gaining significant attention in the past 10 years. It was echoed as an alternative to the fossil fuel-powered vehicle that led to global warming and resulted in climate change. Political leaders, stakeholders, and car makers shifted their attention to EVs as a solution for the ongoing climate change. The Biden government ambitiously put forward the idea of the electrification of the US as a part of this. The moves of the US government have often led to criticism. The automobile world was surprised when the government announced that companies have to pay hefty fines if they don't sell enough EVs. Over 3,000 auto dealers from all over the US, representing all 50 states and every major car brand, have sent an open letter to President Biden voicing their worries over the administration's push towards electric vehicles. Now, the EV market has begun to show some distress. People have started finding out that EVs are killing them. The criticism started on the overprice of EVs, and now it's reached the adverse effects of EVs on the environment. Are EVs a bane? No, EVs are not bad, but we can't ignore the fact that they're not performing worth the money and that the customers pay. The negative impacts of EVs are going on like a never-ending saga. Starting from the environmental impacts, electric vehicles were thought to be the only solution to the ongoing environmental problem, but now they're said to be a part of the problem. EVs are not that green anymore. It's been proven that the EVs would not emit tailpipe emissions, but the problem relies on the source of energy. The source of energy for EVs is electricity, which is often generated from fossil fuels and uses rare earth metals mined in environmentally harmful ways. There are alternative sources of electricity like hydropower plants, winds, nuclear power plants, etc. However, the amount of energy received from such sources is too low when compared with coal burning. In the US, a hefty chunk of power still comes from burning coal, which emits significant amounts of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. When are you using coal-burned electricity to charge the EVs, and how can it be considered green? Is it just as simple as running in circles chasing our tail? At the same time, recycling EVs is said to be an Herculean task that requires high-tech mechanisms that cannot be afforded by every automaker and nation. Therefore, EV recycling remains a significant challenge, contributing to waste problems. The metals needed for the EV battery are extracted from the mines. These metals include nickel, lithium, and cobalt, which are essentially for the future of the EV industry. These metals are mined mostly from the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is famous for its landscapes and coal mines. 70% of the world's cobalt mines come from the DRC, which is said to be the hub of child labor. Yes, these coal mines are often the source of child labor, where children go the extra mile for petty rewards. The consequences include 12-hour shifts, which will be exhausting, by the way, and the constant threat of mine collapsing. And most importantly, exposure to toxic chemicals, which will have lifelong effects in the form of diseases. Another problem that's been raised recently is the effect of EVs on the road. That too because of the heavy weight of the EVs. A recent Telegraph report said, analysis has shown that electric cars damage roads twice as much as their petrol equivalents, as the pothole crisis grows on Britain's roads. A study by the Telegraph has found that electric vehicles cause more than double the wear on road surfaces than petrol vehicles. It can have a great impact on the whole infrastructure by causing more potholes. It will significantly affect the economy and transportation system of Western countries. The average electric vehicle has more stress on roads than its petrol equivalent. It's estimated to be 2.24 times more than petrol and 1.95 more than diesel because of its weight. Larger electric vehicles weighing over 2,000 kilograms, which is around 2 tons, cause the most damage, with twice the wear applied to roads. Such stress on roads causes severe movement of asphalt road surface, which will eventually create small cracks. If they are not fixed on time, they can expand on their own and eventually develop into potholes. As potholes increase, the safety of travelers is affected. The heavy weight of EVs has another potential consequence on safety. A study suggests that every 1,000 pounds added to a vehicle, the chances of dying in a crash goes up by 47%. It will affect garages, bridges, etc. that are designed for lighter vehicles. Another flaw related to the EVs is the wearing of tires. Reports say that the tires of the EVs wear out quickly. Customers will have to change their EV tires 3 times more than a gas-powered EV. The EV tires are designed to work with the electric motor. The rubber used to make the tires have the capacity to withstand the weight of the electric car. However, the problem hits when the EV supplies are taken from China, which focuses on quantity instead of quality. And the US's 80% of most EV supplies are from China. Therefore, they wear out 40% faster than a normal car. These wearers are yet another problem for the environment. They will settle in the air and water, leading to environmental pollution. Along with that, the lack of infrastructure has also come under discussion. Finding a charging station isn't easy, and when you do find one, it's usually overcrowded. Recently, there's been the issue of EV fires. EVs are literally exploding, killing several owners due to a new problem called thermal runaway. Thermal runaway causes EVs to catch fire while charging. Over 100 deaths have occurred already, while nearly 500 people reported e-fires involving loss of property and monetary damages. High repair and replacement costs, coupled with the risks associated with EV batteries, have driven insurance costs up, contradicting expectations of lower ownership expenses, and the list goes on and on. What is the catch of the automaker? Well, it seems that the EV makers have started learning from the current distress. Major players like Ford, GM, and Jeep have seized EV production. Ford had to shut down production on its well-known F-150 Lightning pickup, which was expected to shine in the EV market. Tesla cut its prices 3 times in just 1 quarter. Some Tesla models lost over $21,000 in value within a year. The EV giant BYD in China is currently crushing Tesla because the local government gives BYD good subsidies. Another company that was affected the most by EVs was General Motors. They had already lost more than $750 million in weeks, which led to the company refusing to pay fair wages to the workers. In the last month, GM hasn't even managed to sell 10% of what Tesla sells in 1 month. Now they've delayed their own Silverado EV and broke a $5 billion deal with Honda to make more EVs. Now, what's the way out? Nobody wants to pay $100,000 for a car that barely goes 200 miles on a single charge, especially when EVs are criticized for a long list of drawbacks. The issues must be addressed to attract more customers to EVs. Another trend observed is the common people that are going back to gas-powered cars. And the US is falling in love with hybrids. Recently, some Japanese companies have been conducting research on hybrid vehicles. The research focuses on hybrids and alternative fuels. Research and development teams have conducted experiments to develop alternate engines. We've seen companies experiment with ammonia engines that offer a pretty good range of up to 1,000 miles, but have some production issues that are being worked out. Akio Toyoda, the chairperson of the Toyota Group, says rare earth minerals needed to make EVs are limited, and we might see shortages soon. Thus, we focus on simpler cars that appeal to everyone instead. It should be a wake-up call for the government and stakeholders. Electrification of the automobile industry will definitely help overcome the environmental crisis and climate change, but that cannot be an overnight change. Actions without proper planning will give no fruit to the world. Electrification and the resulting EV tail should be promising and sustainable. Make people choose EV rather than forcing them. Don't you think customers should be given the freedom of choice of what they drive? Let us know in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe for more automotive news that sprouts in the industry. Now, keep the buzz going on in the comments.